Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Today's topic is distributed generation as a solution for energy reduction for businesses. I'm Sunita Prasad, Vice President, Corporate Development and Investor Relations at Revolve, and I will be guiding you through this interesting conversation. This webinar is the third in a series of webinars that the team at Revolve will be hosting over the next 12 months. Today, we have three experts from different areas of distributed generation energy. They're going to talk about distributed generation, which we also refer to as DG, technologies such as code generation, battery storage, and solar photovoltaic. First of all, let me welcome our special guest, Andres Gonzalez. Andres will speak about cogeneration. Andres is an engineer and currently the CEO of Carbon to Zero, where he advises investment funds on energy generation and transformation projects in the US, Canada, and Latin America. We have Eric Hickard. Eric is the head of distributed generation at Revolve, and today Eric will be talking about battery storage technologies. We also have Umberto Bustamante present with us. Umberto is the Group Technical Manager with Revolve and will be discussing solar photovoltaic energy. Let's get started. Eric, let me start with you. Can you please explain how battery storage can help businesses reduce energy consumption?
Sure. Thank you, Sunita. Happy to do that. Battery storage is a technology that's growing in use, and it's used to solve a variety of problems. It's the new kid on the block. It's the new solution we're starting to see more and more in different markets. And it doesn't really generate energy. It's a battery. So really what it does is it stores energy and lets you use that energy at a later time. It's becoming in many markets. We're seeing huge adoption in Mexico, for example, because it's key to reducing energy costs. When you can store energy at the low tariff rates and then discharge that energy at the high tariff rates, well, there you have a significant saving. And in addition, there's in many markets, there's another cost called distribution charges. And using a battery, you can minimize those distribution charges or even eliminate them. And then, just so you have an idea of what that means as far as money is concerned to a company, those distribution charges can be up to 30% or more of the total utility bill. So that's a significant savings that you can have.
Yeah, that is a compelling number. Up to 30% savings makes a big difference. Let me ask you this. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using battery storage compared to other distributed generation technologies?
Sure. Well, it's, benefits, battery storage, or as we more commonly know it as a BESS, a BESS, they're programmable. This is a piece of hardware that has a brain in it, a CPU, and you can customize it to meet specific needs of each customer. So that's interesting because not all customers are the same. And when you have a battery and you can program it, well, you can make it do a lot of fancy things. So not only can it be used for what we were talking about, capacity charges or arbitration between different tariff rates, but you can use it to stabilize your internal network, your internal grid. There's a voltage or a frequency issue on the grid. You can use the battery to override that and keep your business running. So, you could call it a stabilizer or resiliency enhancer for your business. So that would be one. Another benefit is that batteries are scalable. So if your business grows, you can always add more cells and increase the capacity, the storage capacity of the battery and its power to meet your needs. As far as weaknesses, well, I'll call them limitations. One of them is, well, batteries, like any other hardware, have a limited lifespan. Batteries wear out. So, after a number of, probably in the thousands or even hundreds of thousands, depending on the technology, after that many cycles, charges, discharges, well, there's a point, just like your phone, where you have to either change phones or buy a new battery and install it. So there's a limited lifespan, and they do need to be replaced over time. The other one, which was a limitation, but when these solutions get scaled in volume globally, well, then costs come down. So one of the big limitations used to be that batteries were very expensive, and but just in the last year, we've seen reductions of 20, 30, even 40% in costs. So those costs are coming down, which just means that the projects can cost less and give better savings to our customers. And just to finish off, I would say at Revolve, we offer battery storage solutions with a zero investment for the customer, which makes it even more interesting. And we can usually set that up either as a fixed monthly cost, or we can do something a little more creative where we calculate the savings to the customer, and then we share those savings with them as well. So I think it's a really compelling solution right now.
Yeah, that's great information. Thank you, Eric. Now let me move on to Humberto. Humberto, can you please talk about the benefits solar photovoltaic energy offers businesses in terms of cost reduction and emissions?
Sure, Sunita. Thank you. Solar photovoltaic energy offers numerous benefits to businesses. Firstly, on the right side conditions, right now, it's the lowest cost energy generation, which helps the user to reduce their long-term energy cost and help them to be a more competitive business. This is enhanced in Mexico, where the energy generated is at the middle demand rate. So it also helps to this. This is good for the savings of a company. So all this with an independency on fuel prices. Increasingly, this will increase the certainty on the expenses of a company and therefore reduce the risk of doing business. By harnessing an energy source that is clean, sustainable, free, and renewable, businesses can also reduce their carbon footprint and emissions, and with this, meet the new demanding ESG goals and contribute to the fight against the climate change. This not only has environmental benefits, but can also enhance the company image and reputation among their clients and the society in general. Other advantages of the PV systems include that it is modular and has a flexible design. You can adapt easily a PV system to any size of energy requirement that a business can have. And it's also scalable, same as Eric was saying with the battery systems, and you can later add more on without any damage and taking advantage of an economy of scale. So It also has a low maintenance cost. It also has a great synergy with battery systems and can provide more advantages in combination with an hybrid project. And another potential advantage is that they practically generate no noise on for the site, contrary to other type of energy generation options that that can generate some type of noise. So a PV system does not increase the load or noise of facilities. So resuming, we can say that the PV systems are modular and flexible design and are scalable, are for most parts of the Mexico area, they have the lowest energy cost of energy generation. They generate energy at middle demand rate. They are independent on on fuel prices, fossil fuels or any type of fuel prices.
Mhm.
It's clean and renewable energy that align with ESG goals, have low maintenance costs, and have a great synergy with battery systems and no noise generation. Sonito.
Okay, so that's what it's all about, contribute towards the fight against climate change. Now, can you please talk about the main challenges that businesses face when implementing solar photovoltaic systems and how they can overcome this problem?
Sure. Well, when implementing solar photovoltaic systems, businesses may face some challenges. So the generation is restricted to certain hours of the day, as it's naturally it's thought about. It's a solar system. So the energy is restricted to those hours, and it's not 100% reliable, as clouds can come and go, so increase and reduce the energy. So this implies that it is not the best option to work for as a backup function of the energy of a facility. Therefore, this can be mitigated working with a battery system. So coupling the photovoltaic system with a battery can provide this. So, but at itself, the photovoltaic is not the best solution to think as a backup. So another thing that needs to be considered is the space or the roof space you have at the facility, because it requires certain amount of space, which typically goes well with the size of a facility, but sometimes it can be not enough, and it can be mitigated thinking maybe of a system that goes on the ground on a space that is available. So that also needs to be considered. One last thing is the limit that we have in Mexico on distributed generation, that is currently at 500 kilowatts energy generated. This also sometimes prevents having larger systems, and well, it is not a disadvantage, but it's a limitation that also has to be considered.
Okay. Well, there are definitely a lot of government incentives available in different regions that businesses can look into. Thanks, Humberto. Now, let's go to our special guest, Andres Gonzalez. Andres, we're excited to have you join us today and look forward to your perspective on cogeneration. Can you please share with us how does cogeneration work and how it can help businesses reduce their energy consumption?
Yes, Sunita, thank you very much. Yes, well, basically cogeneration is an efficient process in which you generate both electrical and thermal energy that are produced by one primary energy source. This primary source could be natural gas, biogas, even propane, diesel. It depends on where you are and what you can use for this purpose. So by simultaneously generating electricity and heat, you basically achieve higher overall efficiency, often exceeding 80% compared to around 40% for separate heat and power generation methods. And also you can reduce the reliance on separate systems for electricity and heat production. So it helps you in those two basically terms. And at the same time, you can reduce your energy consumption by achieving this high efficiency. And basically that's it, Sunita.
Okay. And what are the technical and economic requirements for implementing a cogeneration system in a business?
Yeah, well, it's very important for when you're working with a cogeneration project that you size it accordingly to your energy demands. In this case, since you are producing electricity and also heat, you need to assess these two different kinds of demands. So on practice is a little bit complicated, especially on heat, but it's very important that you have that on data, or that you are taking into account that demand. So the second thing you need to consider is the primary source of energy that you're going to use. Normally here in Mexico, we have two basic primary sources. One is natural gas, and the other one is biogas. Natural gas is the cleanest of fossil fuels energy that we have access to, and it's also the most the cheaper that we have. So it's the first primary energy source selection from the industrial clients. And the third thing that you need to consider is that you need to choose a very efficient cogeneration equipment. So the first question, sorry, you asked about cogeneration, and cogeneration is a efficiency process, but then you need an equipment, right? So it is very important that you choose the most efficient equipment. And this gives us to the second thing that I want to talk about is that you need to conduct a cost-benefit analysis, and for that, then you need to consider the capex of the project, the capital investment, the operation cost, and the maintenance cost. With difference with other technologies like solar or BSS explained before, the cost of operation and maintenance on these equipments are higher because they are running on wear and tear with this combustion process that is in the equipment. So they have higher cost of operation, and you need to consider that, as well as the lifetime of the equipment. So you combine all that into a cost-benefit analysis. Of course, you consider the energy savings, and after you've done that, then you can decide which size of system is the perfect fit for you, and what kind of technology and what kind of primary energy you need to use.
Okay, thank you for our experts, Eric, Humberto, and Andres, for sharing their knowledge on distributed generation. It was great to hear your different perspectives. To our viewers, we hope you found these questions and answers helpful in understanding how distributed generation can be an effective solution for energy reduction in businesses. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Goodbye, and see you again soon.